no matter the ease that technology offers, there are some things in life that take time. There are processes that we must undergo. There are situations that we must face. There are crosses that we must bear. There are things that we must learn, for nothing good or nothing of lasting value comes easily or comes overnight. We live in an age where patience, the virtue of waiting, is locked away in the museum of irrelevance, and treasured monuments are erected to the fast and the furious. There are people who don't like to wait. We live in a fast world, and the fast lane of the fast world. We drive fast cars, we eat fast food, we drink instant coffee and instant porridge. The brand of our computers is only as good as their processing speed. And the moment we text somebody or call somebody, we expect immediate response. Truly, we are the generation that lives from event to event without any real sense of the lessons of life's experiences. You may be frustrated, you may be fed up right now with your marriage, with your job, with your family, with your life. But remember, God has a long-range view on things. He sees more than you do. He knows more than you do. He has greater plans for your life than you can imagine. Our lives are in the hands of God. God is the master potter, and He is always working. He sees us with all our attributes and all our faults. He knows our strengths, He knows our weaknesses, but He looks beyond what we are and sees what we can become. You know, so often, like the Israelites, we get impatient with God. We run ahead of Him because we believe He's working too slow, or that He doesn't know what He's doing. So often we forget who it is that we belong to. We forget who holds the times and the seasons of our lives in the very palm of His hands. We forget that it is in Him that we live and move and have our very being. And if we're to be honest, many times we want to serve God, but we prefer to serve God in the role of advisor. We tell God what we want His will for us to be. We fail to remember that God is God. When things do not work out in our lives according to our well-orchestrated plans, like Israel, we run after other gods. We choose other alternatives. The God who formed this universe, God in whom dwells east and west and north and south, God who dwells in infinite glory, God whose wisdom and power are unmatched. This is the God that holds your life and mine in the palm of His hand. God is not a novice. He is not turned off by the mess and the mud of our lives, because He is working to turn our messes into masterpieces. He is a master potter. We might not understand or even appreciate what He is doing in our lives as Christians, but just be still. Just be still. Just be still and know that I am God. One virtue that I do not pray for more of is patience. I don't pray for it. I know God might sin me, and I know that you're frowning at me, but I don't pray for it. You know why? Because in order to forge patience, I must face challenges. James 5 calls it patient endurance. Notice in the Bible, it never says patient enjoyment. Patient endurance. But guess what? Since God is wiser than I, He decides that whether I pray for it or not, I need it. For to be Christ-like requires patience. To be patient is to face problems. And to face problems is a feature of life. And this is the disconcerting reality. Things do go wrong in our lives even when we are in the potter's hand. God is not so much concerned about your happiness as he is about your holiness. And he will stop at nothing until the image of Jesus is formed in you and me. So he forges patience in us by making us interface constantly with difficult people. He will keep you in the traffic line, and even though you boil, the Holy Spirit will speak to you and tell you to be still. He will take you through some choppy waters. He will allow you to get sick. He will cause you to lose everything if he must, to ensure that the nature of Jesus is formed in you. For when you are down to your lowest, it is then that you become humble. It is then that we become compassionate. It is then that we become patient with other people. And instead of gossiping about them, we extend the hand to support them and strengthen them. And the lovely thing about this text is that in all the marring of the clay, the potter is not once perturbed. He just continues his work of fashioning despite the flaw. He continues to fashion despite the first failed attempt. He continues to fashion his masterpiece. Could you tell somebody, if they're close to you, God is still working on me. God is still working on me. God is still working on you.